Hey guys, Patty Murphy here. I have been spending some time today working on a Sawtooth star quilt, and I have this little trick that I use when I'm trying to match points, and I decided I wanted to show you. It's really simple, but it really helps a ton, and basically all you do is baste your points. So I'm going to show you what I do. I'm going to flip around here to the machine. So I have this quilt. It's got a ton of points. And it's super, super frustrating when you're trying to get your points to match and they don't. And you sew, and then you sew again, and then you sew again. And then sometimes you just get frustrated. So what I do is, like for this to start, I take this piece and I stick my pin right through the point. Can you see that right there at the tippy top at the point? And then I take that same pin and I stick it through the point over here. Well, this particular block has a point. If you don't have a point, it doesn't matter if this is just a solid block. But for this one, I do. This is a great little trick to get points to match. And so I'm sticking my straight pin through this point as well. And then I just kind of get the straight pin perpendicular. Can you see that? It's just sort of perpendicular through the fabric right there. One thing you can do if you want is, stick a pin here and stick a pin here and pull it out. I just sort of stick a pin through, because then what I do is I turn the stitch length on my machine way up to, I don't know, just some arbitrary number. And I put my my block under here. And what I do is I just baste across the point. Take your pin out just a little bit. I start and I stop just a little bit. Can you guys see that? This is 1.5 inches long, maybe, and I just basted right across the point. You can see where the basting stitches hit right at the point. At least I hope you can. You might be able to see it, but no, you can't see it back there. But there they are. And then I fold this open and I can take a look. Now, on this particular piece, it magically worked. On this block, it magically worked. And I have what will be a perfect point. Now, the reason I do this is because, well, I do it for a couple of reasons. One, if you're trying to get points to match perfectly, it's easy to baste a point. And if it doesn't match up, if one point doesn't match up in a particular spot, if multiple points don't match up, you can just pull the basting stitches out and do it again. Not a big deal. And I only do this little tiny section because then I'm only dealing with this tiny little bit of thread. I'm not stitching the entire block or this whole seam. I just baste this little bit where I need my point to match. So this is matched. I'm actually really pretty happy with that. So then I'm going to carry on like any normal block, and I'm going to stick a pin in here to make sure that my seams match. I'm going to do it over here, that these are all nice and nested together. And then I'm going to turn my stitch length down to, I usually sew at about a 2 stitch length on my machine, but sew at what you like. And then I just sew straight across, this, this block. Now, I sew directly on the basting stitches because this is exactly where I want my seam to be. But of course you don't want basting stitches in the quilt because it'll come apart, right? It's not super stable. So then I sew right across that all the way down, pulling out my pins. And I take it out. And once I press it, I'll have a perfect little point. Where'd it go? There it is.